Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. A new housing report was just issued today for the US housing market. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing all the details with you. And stick to the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing how each region in the US fared because there are some pretty big differences. I'll also be sharing a mortgage update with you because mortgage interest rates decreased slightly since my last video. And yes, you heard me correctly, they actually decreased. And before we get started, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our housing market, and I love making these videos for you. So I hope you're getting a lot of value out of them. So let's go ahead and dive right into the video, and thanks so much for doing that. It was announced today that existing home sales in the US dropped in February as housing supply decreased by the largest amount on record. And to be more clear, home sales actually fell 6.6% from the previous month, but they actually increased 9.1% from 1 year ago. However, home sales would have been higher if we had more houses available for sale. For example, at the end of February, housing inventory remained at a record low of just over 1 million units, and that's down by almost 30% year over year, which is a record decline. The National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun stated the following: "Home affordability is weakening. Various stimulus packages are expected, and they will indeed help. But an increase of inventory is the best way to address surging home costs." What's keeping home prices so high right now is due to record low inventory and record low interest rates. In fact, the lack of houses available for sale in many parts of the nation is causing bidding wars, and houses are selling very quickly on average. According to the National Association of Realtors, houses were listed for sale for only 20 days in February on average before the home seller accepted an offer from a home buyer. That's almost twice as fast as a year ago when it took 36 days to sell a house. 74% of homes sold in February 2021 were on the market for less than 1 month. Okay, let's talk about home prices because obviously that's a hot topic and has been for about a year now. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the median price of an existing house, which is basically not a brand new home, increased 15.8% to $313,000 as prices increased in every region in the US. I noticed that they did not mention in this report, but I know it because I'm super nerdy and I follow these stats on a weekly and daily basis, is that this median price of $313,000 now ties the record for home prices in the US. This is because the record of $313,000 was set in October last year. And keep in mind, these are housing stats for February. This is typically a time where home sales and home prices are low, not almost breaking record high home prices. However, CNBC reported that this is the highest February home price ever recorded. And if you missed my video from a couple of days ago regarding the California housing market, then home prices here in California averaged $699,000, so more than 2 times the national average. You definitely pay to live in California. What I also noticed is that home prices in the US have increased more than 10% on a year-over-year basis for the last 7 months in a row. Home sales in the US by price range have varied quite a bit in February as well. For example, these are the percent changes by price range compared to 1 year ago. What I'm most amazed at, yet again, because this has been happening every month for months now, is that homes in the lower price range have fallen off the map. In contrast, homes in the luxury market have continued to skyrocket, right? Homes priced under $250,000, especially under $100,000, have plunged, as you can see there. I'm guessing the main cause is due to home prices on average increasing to levels above $250,000. But take a look at homes that have sold over $750,000. there's been over a 66% increase of homes that sold in the $750,000 to $1 million range, and that's about what it was last month in January. There was also an 81.1% increase of homes that have sold for over $1 million in February, and that number actually increased from 77% from last month. So the sale of houses over $1 million in the US has accelerated. Looking at those house stats, it's really telling me how we've really had a K-shaped recovery, meaning some Americans have been more affected by this pandemic than others. Here's something else I found very interesting because I'm hearing a lot of misinformation out there about first-time home buyers getting crushed and pushed out of a real estate market right now. However, when you look at the data, first-time home buyer activity is basically the same as it was 1 year ago. For example, first-time home buyers were responsible for 31% of all sales in February, which is only down 1 percentage point from February 2020. I'm also seeing a fair amount of comments on the channel that cash investors are buying a lot of houses right now. However, you may see some significant activity from investors in some markets, but overall, this is not the driving force of home prices right now. For example, investors or second home buyers only accounted for 17% of all home sales in February, which was equal to the percentage from 1 year ago. In addition, all cash sales accounted for 22% of all sales in February, which was also about equal to a year ago. And of course, I don't even know if it's worth mentioning or not, but distressed sales, which are defined by short sales and foreclosures, were basically non-existent, representing less than 1% of all sales in February, and that was down from 2% from a year ago. Obviously, no big surprises there due to the fact that we have foreclosure moratoriums that have been in place for months now. Okay, as promised, let's have a look at how each of the 4 major regions in the US fared, because there's some big differences here. Compared to January 2021, home sales in February fell in every region by at least 6%, except for the West, where home sales increased by 4.6%. On an annual basis, home sales increased in every region, but the Midwest increased by the lowest amount by far. In contrast, home prices increased by at least 13% in each of the 4 regions compared to 1 year ago. But the Northeast and West experienced home prices increase by more than 20%. Okay, changing gears slightly, and if you're still watching the video, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. But to give you a brief mortgage interest update, let's go ahead and dive into that. The Mortgage News Daily reported today that the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage dipped very slightly to 3.43% from yesterday's 3.45%. And the average for a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage is currently at 2.88%. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our housing market, and I love making these videos for you. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. Hope you have an awesome day, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.